Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. It is episode 17, Two Dudes Talking. Curry, good morning from the truck on the
The
road,
truck.
right?
Yeah, well, not the road. I'm sitting in a parking lot, so I'm sitting here.
Well, you're
I'm
close to a
traveling
road?
today. Traveling.
Yeah. Nice. Well, awesome. It'll be a fun episode here. So, guys, obviously, if you're new to the channel, or maybe this is your 17th episode that you've watched. Hopefully, it is. If you haven't already, go ahead, smash that subscribe button, hit that bell icon so you get notified anytime we upload new content, new shorts, all that other stuff that we're doing every single week here, just to give you guys as much value as possible. So, last week, Curry, we talked about if you had to start over, what would you do? And you gave a great demonstration. You opened up ChatGPT. You showed people step by step. Hey, I would do this. That's what we talked about. So now, what we're going to do today, episode 17, is we're going to expand on that and talk about what your first 90 days looks like. So, what would you do in your first 90 days? You started over, you got your game plan set, you got your social channel set up, you're ready to run. And now, what does running actually look like in your first 90 days? So, Curry, I'll kick it over to you and let you tee this one off.
So I would tell you, we were talking before the show. This is a no days off event. When you're launching your business, it is you trying to get that plane off the runway. Eric Worre has created the greatest analogy to launching your business that I've ever heard, and it's like if you're not aware that you're trying to get to a point where you're creating leveraged income, meaning income that's coming in by itself. And if you're on your runway and you're just putting that plane down the road, maybe doing a little bit here, doing a little bit there, that plane will never get off the ground. And it won't get off the ground until a pilot, a person running their business, pushes that throttle all the way to 100 to get them to a point where they've run down the runway, the front wheels come off, the back wheels come off, and now you're gliding. Now the engines are pulling you, and you're trying to create leverage in your business. So in your first 90 days, it's got to be all out massive action. And you tell your friends, you tell your family, you tell your coworkers, you tell people that, hey, look, after hours, after work, in between things, I'm going to be busy. I'm going to be, and you got to make your wife aware of it. You got to make your spouse aware of it. Make your husband aware of it. Make your partner aware of it. Make your
Hmm.
kids aware of it. For 90 days, it is changing your mindset from being an employee to an entrepreneur
Hmm.
and helping others do the same thing.
Yep.
So for me, that first 90 days, man, I am messaging, texting, calling everybody in all of my spare time. It's massive action for me.
Yeah. So
I'm,
we'll dive
by the
into
way,
the.
I'm in it right now, so I know exactly what I'm saying.
Yep. Yep. I hear you. Um, so we'll dive into some of the particulars of exactly what Curry just said too, and I'll give you guys a quick backstory too. So back in 2016, when I was really kind of getting my online start, I hit a point where I had a lot of things going on personally, and I kind of figured it out a little bit. I figured out a step, and that was really the planning portion of it. So I had to sit down with my wife, and just like, Curry, you had just mentioned, talk to, spouse, significant other, whoever it is, let people know what you're going to be doing. I did the same thing. And I remember this day vividly. Like, I remember the feeling of like fear and excitement and nervousness about having this conversation. But like, I literally sat down at the dining room table with my wife, and, you know, we had bills and stuff on the table and whatever. And I said, listen, I'm going to go after this thing. And I asked for it. I said, I need your support. And I didn't just say, hey, I need your support. And maybe this will help you guys, but I actually literally pulled out a plan. I had a plan of attack of what I was going to do. So I'm like, hey, I'm going to be working my normal job, right? We get home, there's going to be the family time in there. We're going to do the dinner thing. And then after we put our son down to bed from 9 p.m. until I can't keep my eyes open, I'm in the office, door shut, here, working, figuring this thing out, taking action, doing the messaging, the videos, the webinars, the learning, the education, all those things. And I mapped it all out and I said, I'm going to do it on these time frames, this day of the week, and I'm going to do this straight, for the next 90 days. And, she said, okay, I support that, because I had it all laid out, and you getting the results that you're after, it's going to be very, very important. And we can go down a huge rabbit hole talking about this, but it is super important for you to communicate what your goals are, what your plan of attack is to the people that you live with and the people that are around you. Because I've worked with people over the years where they're like, oh, well, I really don't want to share this with my husband because he's super negative and he's going to tell me to quit and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, if you're going to try to operate out of a closet, it's going to be very hard for you to get results. But when you can communicate and say, even tell the kids, hey, when this door's shut, you do not come in here. This is my time to build my business. Set some ground rules, establish, establish like your base camp and how things should operate. Does that sound accurate there?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd say, what would you do if you started a brick and mortar business? Like if you started a brick and mortar business and you had to have you had to pay the bills for the rent, you had to pay for all your water and electricity, and you had to pay for all your resources, and just to launch your business, to get it off the ground in that first 90 days, what level of effort would you apply to launch your business if it was a real brick and mortar business? For some reason, because we operate in the network marketing space and you don't have to have inventory, you're not paying rent, you're not paying for any of these services, water, electricity, whatever, that sometimes people don't feel like they've got a real business. But my God, it's going to pay you like you're the CEO of a company if you build the business.
Mm-hmm.
It is going to pay you unbelievably well when you build it. And by the way, I do want to point out a hilarious thing that we're talking about launching businesses, and here I am in this truck, and I told you I had a funny story. I launched a company a long time ago with these little beacons. You remember the little beacon company that we
I
did?
do. Yeah. Yeah.
My very first Zoom I gave, I was on the road and I was sitting in a women's prison parking lot with my laptop on the dash doing just this. My second Zoom, I pulled over on the side of the highway and where I had good phone signal and could attach my phone to my laptop and gave another Zoom while I was on the side of a highway. Guys, it's not going to be perfect. It's
Mm-hmm.
not going to, nothing we do in life is going to be perfect, but the people who show up and do the thing without making excuses, like I could have told Dan, I said, hey, can we push this off till Wednesday? I said, I got to drive 9 hours. I said, but you know what? I got things I got to do, and I'm going to try to make sure I'm where I'm going to be at, how I got to be over the weekend. When on your weekends is the wildest time for a network marketer. Weekends is when everybody's programmed to take a break.
Mm-hmm.
You're programmed to get off work on Friday, crack a beer, go hang out with your friends, do your party thing, and then Saturday just kind of coast into Sunday where you got to get ready to go do it all again.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I'm screaming at my team this on the weekend, going, "What are y'all doing?" And I don't mean like, "Hey, what are y'all doing?" I mean like, are y'all still in business on weekends?
Mm-hmm.
Because for me, I'm still trying to build something every day of the week, and I would much rather go after more employees
Mm-hmm.
rather than build more employees. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Yep.
So
So when you guys are looking at your first 90 days, the the number one, I mean, for me, Curry, tell me if you disagree, but like the number one most important thing you can do right from day one is establish a schedule, establish when you're going to work your business, how you're going to work your business. Have you communicated this with the people around you. So that way you know exactly what you're doing. Okay. And then the next phase of that, in my opinion, is every single day, and this is where it's always worked for me for years, is you're going to write down not what you're going to do today. You're going to write down what you want to get done tomorrow. And this is important for several reasons. Because when you go to sit down, let's say whatever, if you take my schedule, right? I worked a full-time job. I was a store manager for a big box retailer. I got home, did the family thing, 9 p.m., right? I'm at my desk, doors closed, I'm ready to work. If I don't have anything written down and I don't have anything planned out, I'm going to sit down at my desk and go, oh, what am I going to do? And then I'm just sitting there wasting time. You need, in order to launch, especially in your first 90 days and take massive action, you need to know what you're doing. Okay. Because at the end of the day, like if you don't ask the universe for what you want, how can you expect to achieve it? Right. So you got to write down what you want. You got to know what your plan of attack is. So you always want to have your plan written down. So that way you can sit down at your desk or stand or do whatever it is that you do. And then you're just going through and you're getting stuff done. And it might be,
Can we pause for just a second?
sure.
When you're talking about writing things down, and I'm not a list builder, so I'm not going to say you're wrong by any means. I think that people who have no discipline whatsoever in their journey, those people at the very beginning need these lists more than anybody on the planet.
Mhm.
But here's the catch: don't don't start your work day and then make your entire work day about writing down everything you're going to do and then don't do anything because you were like, well, I planned to get ready and there it was. That's what I did today is I've seen these people who spend more time planning to do something
Mhm.
than doing something. And so it's like, if you're going to plan for your time, do it before your time starts.
Mhm.
And then it's just checking boxes. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, go down that list and do those things. And when you're done and you still have more time, go back to the beginning and do it some more.
So to that point, when I write things down, and exactly, I'm always writing them down. I had this in the beginning. I had this everywhere with me. I had this in my backpack when I was going to work. I had this when I'm sitting on the couch watching TV. I had this everywhere. So that way, whenever I got an idea, I could write it down. Famous, famous, famous Jim Rohn line. He always says, learn to think on paper, write it down. For several reasons. Again, because when you write something down, you record it to memory more than just thinking about it. So it's your when you write it down, the percentage of you getting it done goes way up. So now here's
Also,
the
hold on, just keep on that note. What episode was it that we gave them an activity tracker? Like
true.
4?
I'd have to look, but yeah,
So
somewhere
so
back in the beginning.
if you don't know what to do, ask your upline if there is an activity tracker available, or download the one from Eric Worre or from somebody else,
Hmm.
and just follow the steps because those steps are going to work. So go ahead. Sorry.
So when I'm planning for the next day, I'm trying to be as finite, simple as possible. Now, here's the thing. Hopefully, you've gone through and you've already set up your social channels. You've used ChatGPT. You got your cover photos, your profile pics, and all this stuff. And you're now you're just in production mode, right? You're just in doing the work. So, what does the work look like? For me, it's short form videos, long form videos, reaching out to other leaders. Those are kind of like the three biggest things that for me are income producing activities, IPAs, things that I get done every single day, 7 days a week, 365, no matter what. Income producing activities, short form videos, long form videos, reaching out to other leaders or reaching out to people, right? Reaching out to leads, prospects, whatever you want to call them. So even if you only had three things written down, when you sit down at your desk, you know exactly what you're going to do. And every single time when I complete said task, I create my 3 to 5 short form videos, I go and I cross it out. And then literally for, I know it's really tough to see, but every single day I write down short form videos, reaching out to people, YouTube videos every single day, every single day, every single day, every single day. You guys smell what I'm stepping in here. So it's like every single day, I feel like that, that weightlifter in the Planet Fitness commercial, like I pick things up and put them down. It's like I write things down and cross them out. It's like, but I do
That's
that
awesome.
over and over and over and over again. And that's how I build my business.
I write things down and cross them out. I
That's
write
it.
things
You know what
down
I
and
mean?
cross them
Like
out. It's so good.
it's creating that routine and creating that like every single day execution of getting it done every single day. So
Where are you at with accountability?
for myself or for my team?
No, for yourself and for your team. I mean, like in general, like I know I have a Scott DeVore who's one, we talk business every day. It may not be network marketing business, but we hold each other accountable to what we're doing and how we're, getting life done. And we have a daily sit down where we just bounce off each other so that we're staying on course.
Mhm. So for me, I'm different from the average person just starting out, just because I've been doing this for years. So
Right.
from an accountability standpoint, for me, I know that if I say, as an example, I'm going to do 3 short form videos, 1 YouTube video, and 3 reach outs. I know if I do 2 reach outs for whatever, let's say for whatever reason, I don't hit my standard. Um, I only do 2 reach outs instead of 3. I don't get a YouTube video posted, whatever. What I'll do is I'll make up for it the next day, or I will find an area in the week where I will batch. Batching for me is really, really important because I know we talked about this before we went live, and I do want to talk about this where, do you take certain days off? Do you rest on certain days? Do you not build the business on certain days? So we'll shelf that for here for just a second. So for me, if I miss a day or if I don't get a day 100%, I make sure that it gets made up for. Where the following day, if I only did, as an example, 2 reach outs, the next day I'm doing 4 to 5 to make sure that I'm staying consistent. I'm staying on that path of, and this for me is going to tie into this guy right here, The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. Um,
Great book.
and I don't need to spell it out for you. You guys can go listen to this for free on YouTube, by the way. Um, when you look at, routines over a course of time, and you were to step back, if you measured that every single day, or you measured that once a month or once a year or whatever it was, there's so much documentation and proof in here that, doing these disciplines every single day, doing these income producing activities every single day, I would not allow myself to be like, you know what, I can skip today. It's no big deal, because then you're breaking the chain. And when you break the chain, the next time you do it, it gets a little easier. And the next time you do it, it gets a little easier. And then next thing you know, it's like you're not doing any content because, I'll get around to it. It's like, I don't, I stay disciplined. I don't allow myself that lack of discipline. So I hope that makes sense.
It does. I just have the best people who I've ever seen in this business have a partner. Like like you mentioned going to the
Yeah. An
gym.
accountability partner.
Somebody who is literally there to push you to a next level, somebody there who's going to challenge you, somebody there. Like I love when I hear accountability teams have at the end of the week, they have some sort of challenge where they have a punishment for the guy or girl who didn't complete the tasks. Like
Yep.
it's like something silly. Like if you're if you're a Democrat and you have to make a $10 donation to the Republican Party or some
Mm-hmm.
silly thing that is just
Yeah.
like it ain't going to make a difference in the world, but it's a pain point to you that you need to run to do the thing because you don't want to face the fine. It's
Yep.
like I love those pushes. So having an accountability partner in your first 90 days, and by the way, I'm going to say this, and it's going to be a rough thing to say. You can cut it out if you want to cut it out. I know we ain't going to, but I don't think that if you're a man, you should have a woman accountability partner. And if you're a woman, you shouldn't have a man accountability partner. Have somebody that's equally yoked going through some of the stuff that you're going through. If you're a
Hmm.
single mom, find a single mom to be an accountability partner with. If you're a
Yeah.
busy dad, find a busy dad. Like find somebody equally yoked to run with. And that's a biblical principle that you don't want to drive attraction. The more time you spend with somebody, and that's a whole nother conversation in
Hmm.
network marketing.
Yeah. But I think we all know where you're going with that. And I think, it makes sense. It makes total sense. And that goes back to just attraction marketing. And I want to make sure we get back on the course of production here, but that goes back to attraction marketing. When I think about over the years, 7 years of being a full-time network marketer, pretty much, like when I'm out there putting my content out, when I'm out there doing my thing, I'd say 75 to 80% of my sales, maybe a little bit less, are men around my age within 10 years. Because, we're attracting a certain type of person. And it's just how things work. So when you are working with your accountability partner, with someone who is similar to you, I think it would be more helpful versus, if I partnered up with a 19-year-old female. I mean, again, I'm just throwing a weird thing out there. You know, I think I would have much better results partnering with someone that is as close to me as possible.
Right. And you're right on track. And I think that's still part of this 90-day launch is having that accountability to get your stuff done because
Hmm.
most of us in the beginning or in the launch of a company have never done it before or never actually put forth that much effort in a 90-day period. And it's like having a partner that, and by the way, I love that you can start a 90-day launch at any minute.
Yeah.
You could be in your company 10 years and you could be like, screw it, I'm going to do a 90-day launch.
Hmm.
And it's like at that point, you know some things, you know some skills, you have some talents, and now it's just like just putting it into consistency. And
Yeah.
that's the word for a 90-day, blitz or 90-day launch. It's that level of consistency that's going to take you to the next level.
Yeah, I agree. Now, I will say this, and Curry, let me know your thoughts on this. Like if you are first starting out now, if you've been in your company 10 years or you've been involved for a little while, finding an accountability partner might be a little easier. If you're brand new, you're new to a company, you're new to a Facebook group, you're new to, this thing you just got signed up for and you're, still in your little infancy phase, it might be a little more challenging to find an accountability partner. It might take a little bit of time, and that's okay. Ultimately, whether you have an accountability partner or not, your accountability is on you. And I think, you guys need to realize that ultimately, like you and only you, the person looking back at you in the mirror, is the only person that's going to help get you across the finish line. And for me, the way I see it, that accountability partner is really that like, it's like that cherry on top of the sundae. It's like that thing that's just like really pulls everything together and can really, really help you. Ultimately, you have to create your own discipline. You have to create your own routine. You have like your accountability partner isn't going to read the book for you. You know what I mean? Like, like only you can read the book. Only you can create your own discipline. But the accountability partner is there to help and make the entire process maybe easier, maybe better. So, give that some time, try to make it happen, realize at the end of the day, it is on you. Is that?
Dude, listen, I remember there was a time that I was going through a really dark time in my life. This was years and years and years ago. And I met a guy who was a 60-year-old man, 70-year-old man. And we would sit down every Thursday at an O'Charlie's to he'll bring out a list. He brought out the checklist of the week and was like, okay, did you get this done this week? Did you do this stuff this week? Did you do these things this week? Did you do? So we were trying to read through the whole Bible in like 6 months. and
Mm-hmm.
we were doing memorization along the way. We were doing, and it was having that person meet with me on a call, on a Zoom at an O'Charlie's. It made such a difference in developing a real partner.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, I actually just went and saw him this summer. So I was like, this is, those things change your life when you have when you develop that consistency. We got to keep saying that word because people
Mm-hmm.
don't see they don't seem to get it. They'll go to their job every single day. They'll wake up at the same time every day. They'll do their breakfast every day. They'll go follow the rules of their corporation, their job, whatever, every day. Go home at the same time, eat dinner, watch a show, go to bed, and do this all over again. And they don't realize how consistent they're being for their employer.
Mm-hmm.
But when you got to do it for you, when you got to do it for your family, you got to do it for your bills or for your whatever, that consistency outside of your programming is where we're trying to get to.
100%. 100%. So I think if we look at, and I had mentioned this before, if we look at income producing activities, your first 90 days and you're out there and you're taking that action, you're doing that thing, do you give yourself a day to chill out and go to the beach? Do you give yourself hey, we're going on, hey, I know I just got into this 90-day launch and now we're going on vacation. Do you like, what does that look like or feel like to you? Now, for me, having the experience, having kind of been in the game for quite some time now, I might do it a little different than you. Curry might do it a little different from you. But for me, if I were to go back and look at, when I set that plan with my wife, that plan of attack, there would be no days off. It would be straight up, every day of the week, I'd be rocking. Now I've learned some skill sets to do it a little bit differently. But, Curry, where do you see this? Like, especially let's say you're brand new. Hypothetically, you're brand new, or you've been involved for 5 years and you just need a jump start and, you want to relaunch and it's your first 90 days. What does that look like as far as time for you, family, activities, whatever? What does that look like?
Well, just like having a career, imagine if you had to work your job for 8 hours a day for 7 days a week rather than having any days off. You're still putting in that extra effort on your days off. So rather than having the mindset of my week is 5 days a week, my week is 90 days, no
Mm-hmm.
matter what. Like that week is now 90 days long. And if I have an activity tracker or something that I have to check the boxes and just do the thing, I'm going to go do those things every single 90 for the next 90 days. And then at the end of that 90 days, we're going to do a 30-day reflection. We're going to do a 30-day recovery. Hey, we'll take a vacation. We're going to go to the theme park. We're going to go hang out. We're going to go fish. We're going to go do the things that I didn't allow myself to do in that period of time. One of my mentors a long time ago talked about, he got home and he noticed that he was watching TV every single day of the week. And he decided, I'm going to put my TV in the closet. And so I went home and I made a decision because I realized how much I was playing video games and how much I was putting into doing things that weren't income producing activities. And I shut my television off for 7 years. And and then it's like, people were like, did you see that on the news? Did you see the sporting event? Did you see who won the championship? And I'm like, no, I don't know what's happening outside of my growth. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm here to show that when you separate yourself from common, guys, my favorite book of all time that I preached this book is The Dream Giver by Bruce Wilkinson. And it is a tiny book that describes when you receive a dream and you receive this feather, that there's a feather on the windowsill and you got this dream and you want to go get that dream. You want to win network marketing. You want to create residual income. You want to have that leverage. Everyone's going to try to stop you. Everyone in your family is going to tell you that thing ain't going to work. They're going to
Mhm.
tell you you're wasting these 90 days. You could be spending time with us. Why aren't you sitting around the box? They mentioned the box, which is the TV that your
Yep.
friends and family always want you to come over and sit around the box. Guys, give up some of that to have more than those who have in the land of common. Like
Mhm.
the value of winning and the value of doing a 90-day run is so incredibly important. But yeah, it's this consistency thing is serious.
So, yeah, you triggered so many things in that last section there. Like,
My rant.
yeah, but it was so good though, because I want you guys to think about this and maybe put this in the comments if you guys are serious and paying attention. By the way, hit the subscribe, hit the like, drop a comment down below. Um, Other people's opinions don't pay your bills. Period. And end of story. It's, like, can't make it any more simple than that. And also, and we've talked about this in other episodes, your biggest critics are going to be the people closest to you. Your biggest fans, your raving fans, are going to be people you don't know. And that
Never mind.
is building a business online today, being, getting out there and being that person. Like, you're going to have people that are close to you that are going to criticize what you're doing, but they're not doing it because they know better. They're doing it because they're scared and they don't know enough about it. And, they're going to lash out because they don't know. And that's just human psychology, guys. So it has nothing to do with you. Now, I want to make just a blatantly obvious, stupid, simple point here. Okay. Everything that we're talking about right now, just pay attention to this one moment in the video. The whole, like, let this just be like your, whoa, okay. When we're talking about these 90-day runs, when we're talking about income producing activities, when we're talking about, like, going for it, no days off, like doing what you got to do, the real truth is Curry is literally sitting in a $100,000 truck paid for by this industry. I am sitting in a $320,000 house that I bought because of this industry. Like, just let those two things sink in just for half a second. Like, when we tell you and share the stuff with you, it's not because we think it might work or we think, like, we know we've been doing it for years. So there's a certain way to build your business, and then there's plenty of ways not to build your business. So, to get out there and go for it in your first 90 days and create that massive momentum, you can either do it or not do it. It's as simple as that. But, if you want momentum, if you want to get your business off the ground, if you want to get to a point where you can be in a truck or a house or have those things that most people only dream about or don't have or bitch about not having, if you want that to happen, get to work. I mean, is there another way to put it? I mean,
No, you have to. You got to do it, dude. That was a great follow up or close too. Do the thing.
yeah. So, guys, in your, now, before we wrap up, in your first 90 days, I had mentioned, you know, my three main things would be content every single day, at least three short form videos every single day, one full length YouTube video a day, and I would be reaching out to at least, like, a minimum. I'm sure, Curry, I have a feeling you'd be higher, but I would be reaching out to at least 2 to 5 new people every single day.
2 to 5 people every day. God, my numbers way
Yeah,
just
I know,
outrageous.
I know, I know. I'm just giving. I'm get
It's
how many.
outrageous.
So how many are you doing, and what are you doing?
So
That's.
when I'm in my launch, and by the way, I know who my target market is. This is something that took me years to figure out. Like
Mhm.
my target market is one group of people, which is network marketers. So
Yep.
I specifically reach out to at least 40 people on Facebook a day, brand new people. I add so many friends, recommended friends from that niche of groups. And then I go to LinkedIn and go to the same kind of groups, do the exact same thing. I go to Instagram, use hashtags, message those people. when I'm launching, it is a scary amount of conversations. So
Hmm.
I can manage so much more than some. So, but for me, it's just such a simple, if I could, would you be open to initial message that is not wasting time? And my
Hmm.
my 90 days is massive time explosion. Just running.
Hmm. So there you go. 90 days. Message people, short form videos, long form videos, take massive action. And the reason why, I mean, we've already talked about this, but it doesn't hurt to say it again. The reason why it's called a launch is because it takes massive action. Your first 90 days isn't like, you're spending all day reading or watching videos. And a lot of people think and have the misconception that training is taking action, and it's not. Watching videos on how to do something is not taking action. Taking action is taking action. You got to do the income producing activity. You got to reach out, send them, like, press send, press record, press upload, you know.
If you're comfortable, you ain't doing it.
Yeah, you you got to do the thing that gets the result. And watching videos ain't one of them.
Uh,
Okay? So let's be crystal freaking clear on that one. You got to go do the work. End of story. I think that's about it, man.
Sounds good to me. I'm gonna get back on the road.
Well, you do that. Drive safe. And episode 17 in the books. So appreciate you guys. If you made it here and you haven't already, smash that subscribe button, hit that bell icon to get notified anytime we upload new content, which is every single week. We're rocking and rolling here on our way to our first 20 episodes. Absolutely awesome ride so far, Curry. Appreciate you, my brother. And we'll see you guys on episode 18.
Bye, y'all.